welcome to part one of the big replay, a big night of sport coming up here on Channel 7 with the Prudential Cup at 7:15 and then part two of the big replay at 9:30. 4 matches played in Adelaide today. The round will be completed tomorrow, the game from Football Park between West Adelaide and West Torrens. And we had some upsets today. South Adelaide beat Sturt 14-13 to 12-12 at Football Park and ended Sturt's winning run. They'd won 5 matches straight, South Adelaide in some form. In the game at Alberton, Central District won 16 goals, 12 to Port Adelaide 13-7. Port Adelaide has only won 1 of its matches this year at Alberton. They've played 5 times down there. They've won just the once. And North Adelaide came from behind against Woodville. Grenville Dietrich kicking 6 goals in a 13-minute period. North Adelaide winning 20-15 to Woodville 17 goals 11. And so to the first of our replay matches tonight, the game from Glenelg between the Bays and Norwood. A replay of last year's grand final. Earlier this year they played in the Anzac Day game at Football Park and Norwood had won by over 17 goals. We pick up the game at the beginning of the second term. Norwood had kicked into the breeze in the first quarter and they led 4-2 to 2-5. And working with me, as always, Robert Oatey.
So at the start of the second quarter, Norwood are leading 4 goals 2 to 2 goals 5, and they're kicking now with the advantage of a slight breeze, not a great one. The bounce is not good, so neither Peter Carey nor Jeff Ferring can reach it. But Doothy's got in there as McDermott takes possession, gives to Marshall. Marshall more directly than we've seen him for a while, over half forward. Salisbury misses the mark. Stringer takes, head of Noble onto his left foot, but through for a behind only.
Did it well, Robert, but couldn't quite finish it off, Alan Stringer. He's had a couple of chances now. 2 points to the centre half forward. Originally from North Adelaide, first season player with Glenelg, along with his brother Wayne.
Tom Warhurst to the outer side. Ferring in front. Carey just pushes him out with his leg. Well done, big fellow. Recovers to Marshall. Marshall over half forward to Stringer. Stringer's got back too quickly. Malcolm Noble a little bit loose, looking for the play, running down the centre of the ground. And he went forward with the ball as it was kicked in by Tom Warhurst and then was caught underneath it when Peter Carey gave that handball across to David Marshall. And Alan Stringer with an opportunity for his 3rd score. The first 2 have not been majors, but this time it would be very handy for the Tigers. Oh, it's a powerful kick too. It's one of those low kicks that just soars through the air. And Glenelg 3-6, coming back at Norwood 4-2.
4th kick to Alan Stringer and his first goal. Peter Carey did that well. He positioned his body well with the kick out and he got the ball to Marshall. Marshall's left footer. Noble caught out of position. Stringer chipping in, taking the mark and then converting. So that's a good start for the Bays in the second term.
So Peter Carey and Jeff Ferring. Carey just gets it forward slightly to Marshall. Tries to get it away, but he can't quite, but then recovers back underneath his body. Just as Andrew Aish thought that he had the ball for himself.
It's Ferring and Carey, not quite directly opposed to one another. Carey won it easily. Menzel tried to trap it out of the air. McIntosh. Doothy with a high one round his body. Schmal takes a chance. Almost. Salisbury kept his foot. Then he didn't. Then he fell over. Feet, I should have said. McGuinness virtually to himself.
He's on one leg at the time, Bruce.
Here's a chance for Doothy. Missed it. Now 12-3. McGuinness is with him. Bays with a chance here. Schmal tries to run him down. Tony Hall to McGuinness in the pocket. This will take a good kick. He's done it. Goal to McGuinness. The Bays are in front. 4-6 to 4-2.
So Michael Farquhar. Long kick. Half-back flank. Carey from behind. Spoils it away to Seabone. Good player, John Seabone. McDermott. Over half forward. Renfrey. Well done. Chipped in front and read the ball very quickly off the boot then. Very good anticipation.
To the centre. Ferring, Button. At the back, Seabone. Wayne Stringer. Doothy shepherds Roberts for him. Then round his body. Renfrey and Tony Hall. No mark. Still Tony Hall. Neagle. Tony Hall's lost his headgear and it's going to be a ball up.
Good umpiring. The umpire trying to let the ball go. Player very lucky then. If that's Tony Hall, threw the ball back very, very strongly to the umpire. I remember being told by a commissioner once, Bruce, that you're not allowed to throw it back to the umpire on the full.
So it's Carey, Michael Aish to Tony Hall, fell over, Kevin Fisher. Long left-handed handball to Neagle. Andrew Aish. Oh, McIntosh might have got in his road, but he made up for it. Oh, he copped a very high tackle by Salisbury, and he just shrugged it off.
Not good, though. Scott Salisbury mustn't get emotional.
High kick by McIntosh. Michael Annie in the front spot. Farquhar over the back. Menzel was hung on to there. Andrew Aish. Still with Andrew Aish. He's going to get a free kick, Robert.
Yes, he wouldn't take possession then, Andrew Aish. I'm sure when in the concept of the game, the player that's fiddling with the ball like that, like he went for it once and then left it alone and made out to go for it, lifted himself up half looking for a free kick, then did it again, and he had two players in front of him, but he could have just picked it up and handballed it to either of them, and in the end, since he didn't take possession clearly, he gets a free kick.
He's got it.
Yep.
So Andrew Aish has kicked the goal, and it's 5-3 to 4-8. Norwood a point in front now. Aish has had 6 kicks, and that's his first goal.
Yes, they're looking a bit dangerous up forward, Norwood, if they can get it there. They seem to be pretty smooth in that area, but most of the time, they just can't seem to get it there often enough.
Robert, the surprising thing, they've kicked 5-3, and Roberts has kicked the 3 points.
Yes, very rare. So Jeff Ferring and Peter Carey to compete for this bounce down in the centre. It bounces towards Salisbury, but Carey, good movement, gets to the ball, but can't get away. That's better Aish as he gives it to Menzel. He's created a real opportunity now. And Ferring booms one, it's floating, and he's bowled a magnificent wrong as he runs it through for full points. And that's the sort of play that wins footy matches. 6-3 to the Redlegs, 4-8 to the Tigers.
Ferring, famous for that long kick on Football Park last year against Sturt from the back pocket. Michael Aish quickly to Menzel, to Ferring, and he didn't seem to kick it all that well, but it just kept floating, and of course the bounce was right and it ran through. And so Norwood really have turned the tide here, Robert. The Bays had done all the attacking, hadn't really pinched a break, and all of a sudden Norwood 7 points in front.
So Norwood fairly smooth in attack at the moment. Beautiful bit of play out of the centre just that moment ago. Ferring coming up. High tackle there to Hall, but he doesn't want the free kick. Gets it into half forward. The bounce favours Lunnis. Lunnis to McDermott. Quickly into the forward pocket. Warhurst in front. Flying high. Takes the mark. Big Tom Warhurst. To centre wing. But only finds opponent Tony Hall.
First-year player, Tony Hall. Kernahan and Warhurst again. Noble chips in to help. He's taken the mark. Malcolm Noble playing at centre half-back. Alan Stringer beating him at the moment. He gives it to Warhurst. Warhurst, strong handball. Now Schmarler won a good bounce. He made it for himself.
It's a free kick, Bruce, against him. He jumped in the air and put his hand right in his opponent's face.
Not paid. Andrew Aish. Menzel. McIntosh. She's strong because Marshall had him cold. Andrew Aish with a long handball to Stewart.
I think Andrew Aish realised that error he made a few moments ago. Bruce, he's done 2 beautiful handballs since making that mistake.
Stewart to Michael Aish. Michael Aish has kicked the goal. Great football by Norwood. So the Redlegs go to 7-3 to 4-8, and Michael Aish has kicked his first. Seven, 3, 4, 8. I mentioned Michael Aish has kicked his first. Of course, he kicked one in the first quarter in the goal square, so he's got 2. It's Ferring. Tony Hall after it. Simons. The Bays have got to do something here. Vardaniga scoops it up only as far as Maynard. Left foot round his body. Stringer and Noble. Bad bounce. Free kick going to Stringer. Now, I didn't see that, Robert. Obviously, Noble is not too happy about it either, Noble.
He wasn't complaining to the umpire. He just had a go at Stringer, and I reckon Stringer did just made out that was on too a little bit. Got a feeling, put on a big act and caught the umpire's attention.
Ferring after Kernahan and Warhurst missed it. Now Salisbury with a chance. Drop punt round his body or behind. Glenelg 4-9 to 7-3, and Salisbury's kicked 2 points.
Yes, that was interesting, that little side bit there by Malcolm Noble having a go at the player, because obviously he sang out something to the umpire when he probably made contact with him.
They're at it again, Robert.
Yes, I think he might be telling him that he wants to get on with the game and stop squealing.
So it's now Alan Stringer. In fact, he had to go at Menzel there, and now over the top Noble. We better concentrate on the football. Noble and Stringer are...
Yes, Noble's not too impressed with Stringer.
Getting into it there. Stringer and Menzel were involved in something. Stringer coming over the back of Menzel, and Noble saw it. And this is unfortunate, Robert, because we've had Salisbury and McIntosh, Simons and Greg Thomas, and now Noble and Stringer. We want a bit of footy now.
Yeah, we've got a bit of on the ball here. Carey gets the knock forward, then McGuinness hits it, and then gets it back. He's tackled and just throws, the ball flies off one hand. I think he was entitled to have that as play on then, as it flew out of his hand as he was being tackled by one arm. It's hardly worth going for the ball sometimes. Ace to centre wing. Andrew Ace, that is. Spoiled away from Button. Menzel with an opportunity from Renfrey. Don't know how he got up there. He was in the back pocket a moment ago, but he's obviously run on confidently for his teammates.
Centre wing. Button. Kernahan to Duthie. Duthie drops the ball very badly, and therefore he kicks it poorly. Really gave his forwards no chance. Fisher caught. Very strong tackle. Duthie followed that up, Robert.
He did, but Fisher was looking for the handball. He wouldn't go onto his leg. Whereas he's a beautiful handball of the ball, but he wouldn't go onto his leg.
Marshall. Schmal in the front spot. Very powerful. Come over the back of him. Ray Huppert said it one day.
He was going to play on across the ground then, and when he got there, he discovered that there was no one over there. Now Michael Ace keeping his feet. Well done, Ace. Handball on to Renfrey. Renfrey will go on with it. Beautiful take. He shrugs the oncoming player. Vardaniga. Dwayne Stewart is going to play at centre-half forward. Neagle, he'll evade. Gives it across to Michael Addy. He's in trouble. Beautiful tackle on him, though, by McFarlane. Came straight at him. Roberts on his own. And he's kicked to behind. So Neville Roberts doing something he doesn't do a lot of there, trying to layer that a bit, I think. Bruce normally to run right out to the front of the goal then and opened up the face. And he didn't bother. He had plenty of room. So he kicks a score, a minor one, 7-4, 4-9.
4 points to Roberts. Farquhar. Fairing and Kernahan. Michael Ace jumped early. Fairing taps it forward. Maynard didn't get the best of bounces. Vardaniga, it looked like he got a high tackle there. He's not paid.
A bit unfortunate, Bruce, wasn't he? But then he put a high tackle on the Glenelg player, and that wasn't paid either.
Norwood attacking. Since quarter time, the Redlegs have kicked 3-2 to 2-4, so it's been pretty even. Vardaniga missed Neagle's body. Hewitt with a long handball to Simons, and Simons will go to Marshall.
Marshall on centre wing. A little bit slow getting it onto the boot. Sort of crabbing sideways again then. He's got a bit of a habit to do that. Nice take by Salisbury then, getting in for his chop as he gets hold of that ball. Holding the ball against McDermott. It's too slow. The game goes on quickly. Scanlon into half forward.
He's got to come back.
Roberts has got the ball. I don't think Des Foster even knows where the ball is. It was Bob Schofield who called it up. I think Des Foster was more worried about there was going to be another stand-up fight at centre-half forward. The ball went on quickly. In fact, he's penalised the team very badly because there was no variation in play whatsoever after the free kick. And so the kick now down the grandstand half-forward flank. Wayne Stringer. Seems to look a bit taller than me today, Bruce. He's a fairly tall lad to half-forward. Off hands, runners. Just taps it out. Simons, nice pick-up. That's a stalemate. Between centre wing and half-forward, the Glenelg are kicking to the southern end of the ground into a very slight breeze.
Stringer and Noble again not happy with one another. They seem frustrated at the moment. Fearing won it easily. Stewart got a bad bounce. Crashing his way through Wayne Stringer. McIntosh has got hold of him.
Did he get him high then? Very unlikely. He put his arm up. Certainly a very, very good bit of play, in my opinion.
Stringer to the centre. Kernahan's the one they want. Coming at the back, Fisher. Mark to Andrew Ace in the centre. Having a lot of touches. Almost gave it to Scanlon. Decided not to.
It's a very strong play out here, though, Bruce. Some of that was good. That was a good take of the bump by Wayne Stringer then, and then he got the free.
To centre half forward. Roberts quickly to Menzel. Hewitt's with him. Menzel, Hewitt, and also McFarlane. McFarlane gives it away quickly towards the boundary line. Seabone runs it out of bounds. It's going to be a ball in. Haven't seen much of McFarlane, but he'd be pretty happy if he goes in at half-time and Roberts hasn't got a goal alongside of his name.
I'm sure he will. That was a beautiful handball then by Neville Roberts on the up. Just couldn't quite get it to Menzel accurately. Seabone gets the ball away. Vardaniga settles himself nicely over the ball. He's got a bit of strength, Glenn Vardaniga. Menzel can't take it. In fact, nobody can. There'll be another bounce down on the half-forward line for Norwood. They're leading at the moment, 7-4 to 4-9. Glenelg with a couple more shots, probably an indication of their play in the latter part of the first quarter and the first half of this second quarter.
Kernahan against Button. Menzel quickly gives it away, but only as far as Wayne Stringer. Vardaniga tries to barge his way through. Andrew Ace, no free kick against Vardaniga for throwing. So it's going to go to Chris Duthie. stop-start this game, Robert, isn't it?
Yeah,
Norwood looked very smooth, but the Bays are struggling.
Yeah, they're not getting the play accurately to one another. It's not the umpires interfering, as some people may think. It's the players' inability to do anything accurately and quickly. See that handball then of Tony McGuinness along the ground, then Dwayne Stewart with an opportunity, and he just fumbles it. When it hit his hands on the first take, it flew out again.
So Kernahan and Button again. Kernahan gets into Button's back, and he'll take the free kick. Button does most of the ruck work between forward pocket and centre wing. Centre half forward, flying Maynard. Did he touch it? No, he didn't. Roberts' mark. He thinks he did.
I'm sure he did actually, Bruce, but it's a pretty weak touch.
Neville Roberts having kick number 7. 4 points so far. Long way out. He's got the breeze at his back.
This one is liable to kick a short one. No, not this time. He's really trying.
He's missed it again. It's unbelievable. Roberts has had 5 shots for goal and he's kicked 5 points. I can't remember that happening since he's been at Norwood, at least.
No, you never know, though, Bruce. You see, he may be feeling the effects of his playing on Tuesday night. See, a little bit stiff and sore. Just lost his balance. When you're feeling a little bit unwell and not moving as smoothly as you'd like, you lose your coordination a little bit.
Farquhar with a high one, hoping for Kernahan. Neagle threw it in the end. Had to be given it against him. So it's McDermott from half-back. Norwood are very quick to get a couple to jump against Kernahan every time the ball goes towards him. Lunnis on the lead. Renfrey from the back. So Lunnis on centre wing. Wants to play on, now gets 15 metres.
And away he goes.
High kick. Stringer and Noble. It's now Stringer, did that well. Over the top to Hall. Hall should walk in and kick a goal. He does. Glenelg 5-9, Norwood 7-5, and Tony Hall's got his first. Well done, Alan Stringer. Kernahan in the ruck against Michaelani. Michaelani always comes in from the side. Bounce really gave nobody a chance. Salisbury, Neagle tackles him. He's going to get the free kick, Salisbury.
Yeah, well, he's the one who falls over all the time, Bruce. Handballs it away. Maynard, and he goes to half forward to McGuinness. Tony McGuinness to the goal square. Carey's underneath it, puts his body in square. Warhurst with a fist away. Well, I thought that was as good a sport as you could see with his right hand. Maybe he touched Peter Carey with his left. But that to me looked like a magnificent spoil. The umpire not pleased. Carey very pleased at the moment.
He seemed confident, Carey. As soon as he heard the whistle, he knew what was happening. But Warhurst kept his eye on the ball all the way, didn't he?
Yes, he must have touched him with his left hand, Bruce.
Peter Carey. He's got it.
He was barracking too as it went in.
So Super's kicked his first. That's 399 in his career for Glenelg. I wonder if he'll get his 400th today. And Robert the Bays are back in it. 6-9 to 7-5. Kernahan and Michaelani. Kernahan won it. Marshall round his body. Hall and Renfrey. Gee, Renfrey did that pretty well, then he fell over. Fisher will go straight to the boundary line. That's deliberate, Robert. I wonder if it'll be paid.
Yes, he was coming back into play then, and he turned around the other way and handballed it out of bounds.
12-3 from the pocket towards full forward. Carey on a lead. Tony Hall barges his way through, and then he kicks a goal. The Bays are in front. Hall's kicked 2 goals within a minute, and Glenelg are 7-9 to 7-5.
Yes, Tony Hall's done it again, Bruce. That movement of that ball, when he went to the ball and he quickly took it and he evaded and was able to get it on his boot. Oh, how well he did it. He seemed to have an uncanny sense and a feel for the play. And most players probably would have not been able to even get the ball to their boot. That was beautifully done by Tony Hall. Crowd very pleased at the moment.
Bays 4 points in front. Kernahan keeps geeing himself up in the centre. Michaelani runs from the side. Again, a bad bounce. Michaelani caught. Norwood change coming on as Fisher's gone off. And I'd say Jarvis has come on for the Redlegs. So it's Marshall to centre half forward.
Stringer in front, well done. Can't finish the mark, turns onto his left. Salisbury trying to barge through the pack. Loses possession. Just at his feet. There'll be a bounce down at centre half forward. Alan Stringer posing a little bit of trouble for the Norwood defence at the moment.
Rohan Hellier's come on for Norwood, Robert.
Kernahan hits it forward. Schmal is pushed in the back, and he'll get a free kick. A 15-metre penalty against Glenelg there too. The umpire not looking. He was looking at the mark as the Glenelg player just throws the ball out of the road. Beautiful kick forward. No one able to take possession on the first fly. Marshall comes in on the second run and left foots it over half-forward line. Noble in front. McGuinness. Beautiful handball. He aimed that handball beautifully to Lunnis. Usually we see Michael Lunnis snapping for goal over his shoulder and doing some wonderful snaps. Now I know why he does it, because he can't kick it straight when he's got plenty of time, Bruce.
Gee, they wasted a chance there.
Oh, he didn't run at the goal at all well.
Hellier's gone to centre half back, Robert. Stringer obviously causing Neil Baum some concern. And Malcolm Noble's gone to a back pocket.
Justin Scanlon it is to take the kick. It's a very good one to half back. Neagle goes back towards the boundary line of Renfrey. Renfrey just runs it around towards Stewart. The ball kicked off the ground and out of bounds.
The Bay's 4 points in front. Had Neville Roberts kicked straight, Norwood wouldn't have missed a goal today. Incredible situation. He's kicked all the points. It's Marshall winning the centre now. McDermott. Powerful kick to Carey. Noble takes off early. McGuinness. Now, has he got a right foot? Round his body. He has. The McGarry medalist has kicked his first, no second, and the Bays are 10 points in front.
Started the last quarter. Glenelg 10-13. They kicked 2 goals, 4 in the third. And Norwood 7-13. They kicked 6 points in the third quarter. And Button gets the first knock away. Carey recovers for Glenelg, but is penalised for open hand balling the ball. Hit the ball with an open hand, and Gary McIntosh will put Norwood into the attack at the start of this last quarter with a very long kick over half forward. It's spoiled away. Thomas waiting for the offhands as Menzel kicks into the air, and Farquhar saves the bacon for Glenelg.
Both Farquhar and Seabohm have played well in the key positions in defence for the Bays today. Norwood have been restricted. They're normally a high-scoring team. Up to half-back. Carey tried to thump it on. Fairing just gave it to Carey.
Did it very patiently too.
Carey to the centre wing. It's not a bad kick by Peter Carey. He had just the right screw on it to make sure that it goes out of bounds. So Bays will be looking for an early goal. Of course, Neil Baum will be desperate that Norwood don't get more than 3 goals behind. Not much in the breeze. Norwood have got what breeze there is. McDermott round his body. Stringer. McGuinness has played reasonably. He hasn't had a dominating game. Kernahan almost. Motlop. Simons. There's an important kick by Simons. Oh, geez, got it, Robert. That's what they wanted. It's a goal to Simons. It's 11-13 to 7-13.
There's a great bit of ball skill there by Tony Simons. The ball coming in from Tony McGuinness. A beautiful run up the wing. Alan Stringer also getting into the play there in the middle of all of that. But a beautiful movement there by Tony Simons as he put the ball on the end of his boot across with a player coming in on his leg, kicked it high in the air, and he put enough work on it just to put it inside that right-hand post.
So Carey and Button. Simons goaling within a minute and a half. Carey won it 12-3. We trapped that well and then threw it out. Stringer couldn't quite make it. Hellier's in all sorts of trouble. McGuinness. Now this could be the kick. He's missed. 11-14, 7-13. I wonder if that gives him a memory of Football Park and a fortnight ago.
I reckon it would, Bruce. It's moving at great pace, though. Tony McGuinness does this. If he gets a few moments with this electrifying power, if he can finish off his play, it'll be of great advantage to the Glenelg side. A great mark at the centre of the ground, or near centre, by Chris McDermott. He'll go straight into attack because Kernahan's one out with Warhurst. Warhurst coming in from the side, pushed in the back by Kernahan. No, you can put your hands on your hip looking disgusted, Stephen. You did it. Hellier.
To Scanlon. Norwood have got to take some chances. They tried to run the ball to the goal square in the third term. It didn't work. Scanlon to centre wing. Interference against Neagle there, against McFarlane getting into his back. It might have been Hewitt. So it goes back to Neagle.
Hewitt is quite right.
Neagle, as Robert said in the third term, has worked pretty hard today. Very high kick. Michael Lenny in the front spot. Farquhar over the back. Stewart rather tried to get through, but Wayne Stringer was with him all the way. It's going to be another ball up. 80 to 55.
Carey getting back in defence for the ruck. He's closest to us, not a good bounce. Favours Glenelg side, but Albie Menzel gets back there fast, and he gets a free kick for a push in the back. Takes the ball into full forward. Daniger, magnificent fly. Hewitt relieving for the Tigers to centre half back. Button coming in, plays on. Beautiful movement, Neil Button, to finish this off with a goal. Oh, what a great bit of play by the big fellow. Coming back from the back play, jumped over the top of David Marshall. Posted the 8th goal for Norwood, 8-13, Glenelg 11-14.
But it wasn't enough for the Redlegs, and Glenelg hung on well in the end, 12-16, 88 to 10-15, 75. A Leon 12-tree kick 3, Stephen Kernahan 2, Tony McGuinness 2 and Tony Hall 2. And for Norwood, Michael Aish with 3 and Richard Neagle with 2. Let's have a look at the stats from that game. Kicks for Glenelg, 199 to Norwood, 172. Marks, 61 to 57. Handballs, 103 to 107. Frees, 32 to 35. Rucks one out of the centre, 12 to 6. And scoring shots, 28 to 25. So as you can see, pretty even, except for the fact that Glenelg had 27 more kicks. The game at Football Park provided an upset between Sturt and South Adelaide. South Adelaide in very good form. It was tight all day, much like the game at Glenelg. In the end, South winning 14-13-97 to Sturt 12-12-84. Now, Schneebichler and Davies, they were in tandem last week. They both kicked 11. They kept together again today, both with 3. Miller got 2, Martin 2 and Tutt 2. And for the Blues, as well as Davies, Graham, Filkey and Barbary each 2. Well, speaking of upsets, that's exactly what happened at Alberton today when Central District defeated Port Adelaide. Port Adelaide were in trouble right from the start at Alberton today. Central District won the toss and they kicked with the breeze. And for Port Adelaide, there seemed to be a lack of pressure in their back line. Have a look at Mark Norsworthy. Virtually had all day, then kicked the first goal. That came up within a minute of the game starting. Peter Bything was a very good player today for Central District at full forward. Rene Van Dommel had a great game last week against Norwood and followed on with that form today. Bything in the square, a strong pair of hands. He's been struggling for form this year, Peter Bything. In fact, he's played a couple of games in the reserves. 2 goals to Central District and they were on their way. Port Adelaide only scored 1 goal in the first term. A fine mark by Tim Evans in the goal square. Evans has been in good form since coming back after injury. He kicked 4 goals in a losing side again today. Now here's a good indication of the pace of the Central District side. Robertson, Vivian, he's got a paddock to move in. And Bything in front of Hughes once again. Bything kicked straight with the breeze. 50 metres out, through it went, and Central Districts were in full flight. Jamie Thomas is playing well in the back pocket. Wilbur Wilson's an exciting player. He's got great ball skills. Van Dommel, again Bything playing in front. Hughes at the back, and 26-year-old Mark Mack in his first league game paid the decision to Bything. Bything ended up with 5 goals in a quarter time. Central led 7-2 to 1-5. And they went on to win 16-12 to 13-7. Port coming back a little in the second half. Bything with 5. Wilson, O'Neill, Fraser and Norsworthy each with 2. And for Port, Evans got 4 and Folletic 4. The other game today at the Prospect Oval, Woodville looked home at half-time. They led by 11 to 6. But North Adelaide with Grenville Dietrich kicking 6 goals in a 13-minute period in the second half won 20-15, 135 to 17-11, 113. So Dietrich got 8. He's in great form. Bennett 3, Gayling, Harrison and Roach 2 each. Harrison, of course, from Geelong playing his first game. Beecroft 3, Coop 2, Ron Fuller Simpson played his 50th today. Michael Fuller, Corey and Schwarz each with 2 goals. And so let's have a look at the premiership table, and it's a very interesting one. For the first time this year, Port Adelaide are out of the 5. So we've got Sturt on top. West have got a chance tomorrow if they can beat Torrens by enough. Glenn Elliott, if he's sitting at home, certainly doesn't think they'll win it all. South Adelaide in great form. Then Norwood, they're really struggling. They've won 1 out of their last 5. North Adelaide into 5. Port Adelaide, they've won 1 out of their last 5. Central still with a chance, and who knows, Torrens and Glenelg may be a hope as well, and Woodville down at the bottom. The leading goal kickers, it wasn't such a great day today for the leaders. 72 for Davies. Dietrich has 57. He kicked 8 today. Roberts missed out with 6 points. He's got 51. Luders 46. He plays tomorrow. Schneebichler kicked 3 with. He's got 45. And Lindner 36. Let's have a look over the border today. The scores in the VFL: Fitzroy 9-11 to Essendon 8-10, Richmond 11-4 to Geelong 10-9, Collingwood 15-10 to Carlton 6-9. In the other three matches played there today, Hawthorn beat St Kilda